Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Welcome to another episode of Animals Predicting Things, an unofficial spin-off series of WorldTold, where we will take a look at some animals that somehow have the power to foresee and predict things in the future. Previously, we talked about Paul the octopus and his ability to correctly guess the winning team of 2010 World Cup matches, including the winner of the 2010 World Cup. Now, we emerge from the deep sea as we take a look at the internet's most loved animals, cats. But this is no ordinary cat. This cat, just like Paul, also has predicting abilities, specifically for sensing the inevitable. And the cat's name is Oscar. While Paul was able to predict sports outcomes, Oscar was able to sense something that the internet loves too: death. So, let's take a look at Oscar the death-sensing cat. Oscar, who is named after the hot dog brand, is a black and white tabby cat who was adopted in 2005 at the Steerhouse Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Providence, Rhode Island, which specialized in nursing care and rehabilitation of people with Alzheimer's and related dementia disorders. Steerhouse believes in the therapeutic benefits of animal companionship, which is why they have a variety of pets, including dogs, bunnies, dog bunnies, and of course, cats. Oscar wasn't the only therapy cat that got adopted there, but he's certainly the most famous one, for reasons I'll get into later. Oscar was described as mostly shy but also aloof, as he would sometimes hiss at people when he wanted them to leave him alone. Despite his unfriendly demeanor, Oscar is considered to be very comforting to the residents and family members.
It was a difficult time, and Oscar was a comfort to all of us.
Oscar lives on the third floor of Steerhouse. Although much of his first year on the unit was unremarkable, Oscar suddenly began making visits to residents on the third floor shortly before his first birthday. His visits went unnoticed at first, but family members and staff began to realize that Oscar's appearances were stranger than previously thought. During his first year, Oscar the cat began getting a reputation for being able to tell when dementia patients were near the end of their life. After the feline spent several months at Steerhouse, staff noticed that Oscar would crawl out of hiding to nap next to patients, who then died within several hours of his arrival. The cat spent the day going from room to room, rarely spending any time with patients except for those with only a few hours left to live. If kept outside a dying patient's room, Oscar will scratch the door and try to get in. It seems that Oscar was trying to comfort and provide company to these people in their final hours. One death occurred, then two, then three, then he had about 20 or 30 deaths in a row, at which point everyone at the center realized that Oscar had an extraordinary gift of sensing death. After noticing this pattern a lot more, staff started calling family members of residents as soon as they spotted Oscar sleeping next to a patient, in order to notify them and give them an opportunity to say goodbye. His behavior was also used by staff to increase end-of-life services for those patients. He basically serves as an early warning system for the family members and staff there. Joan Teno, a physician at Steerhouse, clarified that Oscar wasn't always the one who arrives at the ailing patients first, but the cat always managed to make an appearance, and it always seems to be within the last few hours of their death.
Time to stop!
In one case, nurses put him on the patient's bed, but he quickly left to sit with another resident. And guess what? Oscar Pig passed away that evening. Spooky. He would get attention from the public in 2007 when his death-sensing abilities was featured in an article by Steerhouse geriatrician and Brown University professor David Dosa.
I first heard about him from the nurses on the unit. It came to light that he was spending time with patients as they were becoming terminal.
Out of the blue, he immediately wrote an essay about Oscar and submitted it to the New England Journal of Medicine.
I was quite surprised they agreed to publish it. It is not usually the type of article they will publish.
When Dr. Dosa's article was published, Oscar's story made international headlines. For several days, Oscar the cat was one of the most widely searched terms on Google. Since the publication, Oscar has continued to sense more imminent deaths and convinced David that it is no coincidence. As Oscar's reputation grew, so did the appreciation for his job. Despite looking like a furry Grim Reaper, many people consider Oscar to have a calming presence. Some have even praised him in newspaper obituaries and eulogies. Explaining Oscar's track record and seeming ability to predict someone's death is a mystery that still baffles people to this day. Dr. Dosa acknowledged this in his 2010 book, Making Runs with Oscar, The Extraordinary Gift of an Ordinary Cat. In his book, Dr. Dosa offers no solid scientific explanation for Oscar's behavior, but does give some possibilities to it. He hypothesized that Oscar was possibly responding to the smell of chemicals released during someone's death, and his presence in rooms may have been a learned behavior. Dr. Talos said that there's another possibility that Oscar has seen the pattern of staff taking care of patients many times that he starts to mimic it. After all, animals are intuitive. CBS News consulted several animal specialists who had various hypotheses. One of the hypotheses is that he was picking up on the stillness and lack of movement in the room rather than a smell. Some people also have argued that Oscar did not have an ability to sense and predict death, and that all of this was just a case of confirmation bias. There are also people that, surprisingly, doesn't even care about any of this. Nursing home staffs aren't really concerned with explanations behind Oscar's ability, as long as he gives families a better chance at saying goodbye to their loved ones. And you know what? That's a valid decision. Following the release of Dr. Dosa's book, he and Steerhouse hosted a book signing event, which served as a fundraiser for Steerhouse. The book's release, as well as the much-deserved media attention it has received, has been a wonderful opportunity for Steerhouse and Oscar. Speaking of Oscar, after his breakthrough, he continues to patrol the halls of Steerhouse third floor to check the conditions of the residents, though at times he has been caught sleeping on the job. As of 2015, it was believed that Oscar has accurately predicted over 100,000 deaths. 100 deaths. Since his breakthrough in 2007, Oscar the cat has been referenced in various types of media. For example, there's references to him in TV shows like Jeopardy, House.
You actually think the cat is going to predict someone's death?
No.
And even The Simpsons. He was also the inspiration for one of the characters in Stephen King's 2013 novel Dr. Sleep, which includes a hospital cat named Azzy, who has similar abilities to Oscar. There's a song written about him by a punk rock band called Taco Cat, and it's not bad. And there's also an Italian children's book that was based on his story. Aside from the references, there was also talk of Hollywood trying to adapt Dr. Dosa's book into a screenplay. According to the Variety article from 2010, Stephen P. Lindsay, one of the writers for Hachi, A Dog's Tale, and Luis Ugas were the one behind this idea, and they sold their pitch to win Dancer Films and Anonymous Content. And that's as far as the production of the movie goes, because since the article was written, there has been no update about the adaptation whatsoever. None at all. The only information we have about this movie was from, that Variety article. So there's a chance that it's completely bogus. But just imagine if this movie actually gets made and succeeds at the box office. We could have seen Oscar the cat getting an Oscar the trophy for, best performance? Anyway, for the rest of his life, Oscar has resumed comforting patients near the end of their lives. He continued to visit dying patients' rooms until early 2022, when something tragic happened. On February 24, 2022, Steerhouse Nursing and Rehabilitation Center announced on their Facebook page that Oscar the cat has passed away at the age of 17 on February 22, 2022, after a brief illness. This terrible news shocked everyone, including the people in Steer House and Dr. Dosa. He said,
In recent years, my professional path has not led me to Steer House on many occasions. Still, when I would drop by, Oscar always seemed to find me and say hello. My condolences to the staff and those closest to him. Let's keep his legacy going by understanding what he meant to those patients and their families who otherwise might have died alone.
After 17 years of playing an invaluable role in patients' care, providing comfort to residents and staff alike at Steer House, he passed away peacefully with his friends there. From the outside, Steer House just looks like an ordinary nursing home, but inside there lives a black and white tabby cat that can predict the death of its residents. Oscar's story is a fascinating one. For 17 years, he has demonstrated his ability to detect the impending death of patients, and in doing so, he has been able to provide a touch of comfort to the elderly residents of Steer House and their families. Oscar's story provides a unique opportunity for anyone to learn more about end-of-life care and helping people deal with the impending nature of death.
Having Oscar there gave me a comforting feeling that he was with someone that he cared about.
Some of these patients, unfortunately, have outlived their family members and otherwise would be dying alone. So Oscar's there for them and keeping them company during those final hours.
Oscar taught us all that just being there for someone, even if it's at the end of their life, matters. If a regular tabby cat was able to understand this, then we, as humans, should be able to go above and beyond and make the most of our opportunity. Although he may not physically be here with us today, Oscar's story and legacy will be remembered by many around the world. As Dr. Dosa said before, let's continue his legacy by understanding what he meant to these patients and their families who may have died without anyone beside them. Rest in peace, Oscar the cat. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.